Hi, this is DK. Today I'm just going to share with you the assignment number 4, which is the LED uh, and button blinking program. Okay, so button actuated LED blinking program. But first, I thought I'd share with you what the program looked like. All right, and we do that right now. All right, so there's my Raspberry Pi. Let's take a look at my program in GVim. There it is. All right, so it's stored here on the desktop. The usual header files, right? That include statements, int main. You always have to put in a wiring pi setup. Open, close parenthesis. Now we're using pin mode 0 as the output to light up the LED. And then pin mode 2 to set up for the button input. The digital write 0 low, that would be to turn off the LED to start off with, just hard to do that. And then here's just an instruction for the user to say Control C in order to exit, because we're using an infinite loop. Okay, should be the infinite for loop. Let's go ahead and make that change so that it's so we can do that. So this is using the infinite for loop. Okay, go ahead and save that. So I'm saying that if the button digital read 2, GPIO 2 is equal to 0, then which means that the button is not pressed, it'll print, hey, button is I'm sorry, if digital read 2, that is GPIO 2, reads 0, that means that the button is pressed. Otherwise, and then there's also a delay right here, which is debouncing the switch. Here's digital write 0 high to turn on the LED, turn on the LED for 1 second, and then turn off the LED. Okay, so this delay is kind of important, because what's happening is that the button will mechanically bounce up and down, making contact, not making contact, contact, not making contact, in very short periods. Okay, here's the else, because that was the if, and then else, just print, hey, it's not pressed. Okay, and I just put in 100 millisecond delay, and that's the end of the program. All right, so I did that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close that. Close, exit. All right, so I'm going to go to my terminal. I'm just going to quickly do check on where I am. I'm going to change it to change directory to desktop. So go to that folder. Let's see what's in that folder. And of course, the desktop shows the button LED blink DK. Okay, so that's my file. So through button sudo cc to compile it. Button LED blink dk.c. Guess we're gonna have to bring in the wiring pi library. So -L wiring capital pi, and that's all we have to do. All right, so if I hit enter, there's no errors. All right, and there should be an a.out file someplace further down here that you can't see. So I'm going to say sudo. I'm going to go ahead and execute the a.out. And I can see the button is not pressed. Okay, button is not pressed. Button is not pressed. Now, when I press the button, it's going to very quickly from the bottom show you that the button is pressed. You see that? Button is pressed. Okay. It just delayed it for maybe a second. Okay. So what's happening is whenever I press the button, the LED goes on for 1 second. All right. So just so that you know what this looks like, I'm going to try to hold this up in the camera so you guys can see it. All right. How am I going to do that? Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing and hold this up, hopefully. Hold this up. How am I going to do this? Hold this up like this. Okay. And then I'm going to press on the button. When I press on the button, what's going to show is the LED right there go on for 1 second. Yeah, you see that? So I'm going to press the button. LED goes on for 1 second. Press the button once more. LED goes on for 1 second. All right. And I'm using GPIO 0 to light up the LED, GPIO 2 as the input to the switch. Those schematics are given. Oh, let me see if I can pull them up for you. All right. Let me get the get some of the schematics here. So basically, hold on. Basically, the LED. Okay, so here's. I'm gonna share the screen. All right, so you see that if we're gonna blow this part up, blow it up. All right, so you can see that GPIO 0 goes to the resistor. Resistor gets connected to the long lead of the LED, and the short lead of the LED goes to ground. Now, I didn't use pin 14. I think I used let's see. I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think pin 6 was the ground lead that I used. All right. So this is the LED portion. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out the button portion. Yeah, let's do the button portion. So here's the button portion. Okay, let me blow this up a little bit so you can see it. So at the top of the resistor there, it goes to 3.3 volts, which is pin 1. Okay. And then you want to connect that to one side of the switch. And then the other side of the switch gets connected to ground. And GPIO 2 gets connected to the switch and the resistor. So what happens is when the switch is open, okay, that is that you're not touching the switch, it's just there. You got 3.3 volts actually traveling down this way and going out. Okay, so you'll see a 3.3 volt on GPIO 2. So button is not pressed. So if button is not pressed, you'll read high. Okay. If you press the button, click, you're gonna short circuit this. That is, create a direct line between one end of the switch to the other. And so GPIO 2 is now going to read low or ground. Okay. So it's going to read low. So when you press the button, GPIO 2 is low. Okay. When you don't press the button, when the button is not pressed, it's a high. All right. So that's how this thing works. So now you're going to combine these two circuits to build the circuit that I showed you. All right. So I'm going to go to Zoom again. Zoom. Where are we? Zoom. And I'm going to stop the sharing. So that's it. All right. So all I got to do is connect it up. And press the button. Goes on for 1 second. Okay. So I press it and let go. 1 second. All right. So that's the exercise. All right. So hopefully you can get this homework in on time. If you have any questions, you can always ask me.